ProPublica has gotten access to leaked documents from inside UnitedHealthcare. And this is on the specific topic of children with autism. And apparently there is a treatment for children with autism that is considered the gold standard. It helps them be able to live, a closer to normal life. It helps them be able to communicate and their wants and their needs. Like, there's just so much. It changes the equation for having a child with autism. ProPublica obtained what is effectively the company's strategic playbook developed by Optum. That sounds fucking dystopian. Because they optimize profits. The division that manages mental health benefits for United. In internal reports, the company acknowledges that the therapy called applied behavior analysis is the gold standard treatment. So they're not saying, oh no, that's a quack treatment. They're saying this is the gold standard and it works. But the company's costs have climbed as a number of children diagnosed with autism has ballooned. Experts say greater awareness and improved screening have continued to a fourfold increase in the past 2 decades. Jesus, from 1 to 100 in 150 to 1 in 36. 1 in 36 children have autism. Spectrum. That's so horrifying. So Optum is pursuing market-specific action plans, a euphemism for saying how can we screw these people over, to limit children's access to the treatment. And here are the documents put out in a bullet point. I mean, can you imagine? Not even the top guys, like the underlings that are like, let me put together bullet points and how we can make sure these kids don't get their treatment. Yeah. Key opportunities that are outlined in the document, which also acknowledges some areas have very long wait lists for therapy. So basically, that's a good thing for them, I think. The company said it aims to prevent new providers from joining the network and terminate existing ones, including cost outliers. So basically, if we can just stop having providers of this therapy in our network, then we won't have to pay for it. We won't have to help these people get the care they need. If an insurer drops a provider from its network, patients may have to find a new clinician that accepts their insurance or pay up to tens of thousands of dollars a year out of pocket for the therapy. The company has calculated that in some states, this reduction could impact more than 2/5 of its ABA therapy provider groups in network and up to 19% of its patients in therapy. So 19%, they'd be able to kick 19% of their children getting care off that care. That's really exciting. That sounds like a lot of money they're going to make from that. The strategy targets kids covered through the company's state contracted Medicaid plans funded by the government for the nation's poorest and most vulnerable patients. To manage Medicaid benefits, states often pay private insurers a fixed amount of funds per patient. When companies spend less than the allotted payment, they get to keep what remains, which incentivizes insurers to limit care because they get to keep whatever they don't spend on the care. So Optum, whose parent company, UnitedHealth Group, earned $22 billion in net profits last year, is heavily investing in its plan to save millions by limiting access to such care. In addition to culling providers from its network, the company is scrutinizing the medical necessity of the therapy for individual patients with rigorous clinical reviews, which can lead to denials of covered treatment. Optum has developed an approach to authorizing less units than requested. So
yeah, it's evil.
It really is pure evil. It is basically them realizing, hey, we're spending a lot on treating these children with autism. So give us a playbook, which, deny, delay, depose is part of it. But beyond just that, give us a playbook that can make sure we don't cover these children. And, one of the things, if they can't do the denial, well, let's just kick out of our system all the people that provide this care, and then we'll rarely have to give it to anyone. It's
like they're like, oh, we're noticing we're really pooling a lot of our resources on doing our job, doing the thing people pay us money to do, like our one job. And it's like this healthcare business model. I feel like it's uniquely like the whole calculus of it is like uniquely like, how do we avoid doing the one thing that we claim we're here to do is the like entire model for how they operate.
And this is also just one issue. This is one difficulty, ailment, whatever you want to call it in life. And this is how they deal with that against children who some of them barely have a functioning life. And this could give them that. And no, let's see if we can yank the carpet out from under these people. But I thought I'd show one individual case. This is a doctor. So this is not about autism. Moving to another area of health. This is Dr. Ali Hayder. He posted, I'm trying to get a prior authorization approved for a patient of mine who needs a cardiac procedure. That sounds pretty significant. Sounds like something you might not want to screw around with. Initially not approved, submitted more info. A week later, still not approved, and requested a peer-to-peer. So insurance talks with the doctor. My staff called 3 times, spending an hour on hold each time. Finally, on the 3rd day, got through. Phone call scheduled several days later, where I imagine it'll ultimately get denied again. This is American healthcare. And so, yeah, this is the delay tactic, because like this guy may ultimately have to get the procedure without approval because he didn't have time to keep waiting around. And then they can go, oh, well, you got the procedure without approval, so we can't cover it. Like, these techniques are, they do it like this way for a reason. I mean, not a lot of people have weeks and weeks to wait around and see if they can have a procedure.
I mean, it's legal. It's criminal. It's not criminal, but I mean, it just strikes at the heart of why this person who was murdered in broad ass daylight, people have no sympathy for him whatsoever. And it's because of shit like this. It's because they're fucking criminals.